Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown, along with Ryan Graham.
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber.
Hello.
And this is State of Atlanta. Welcome
feels
back.
good.
Yeah, that's a good one. It was a very good one.
It's a very good one.
Welcome,
Cheers, Ryan.
Mancha?
Now, Ryan, before we got started, you were talking about how you were you're getting your lighting all set up with your new fancy microphone guard or whatever, and now it's just like you're in a dark dungeon.
Yeah, I thought it was super weird, and I thought I looked better in the dark dungeon. I know that's weird, but I could turn on. I have a like a halo light thing, but I think it washes me out.
Kind of like I am. Yeah, well,
I like the mood lighting.
It's like too much.
The better. This is we all have faces and cameras for radio or for podcasting, not for video.
Thank God you decided to live stream this thing.
I was in such desperate need of like social companionship during the whole pandemic that I'm like, I don't care. Let's do the live stream, do the video, do the whole gangbang thing, whatever. So
I like it.
All right. So yeah, good week coming off of a crazy win, which we'll talk about in depth a little bit later on. But how you feeling about the Panthers so far right now after this last week win?
I feel great. I mean, we had definitely some mistakes against Troy, but we showed up and we made it count. So I feel awesome. We needed that win for sure.
Yeah, there was no coming back from 3 losses in the conference. Especially getting one in the division. So that was definitely a must-win game. Now Ryan and I got the chance to watch it together in the stadium, which is really cool. We'll talk about that a little bit later on as well. But so Tim, I haven't really talked to you a lot about the game since it happened. What was your take watching it from wherever you were?
I thought we did a pretty good job. I think the defense mostly showed up. We got some improvements we need on obviously passing defense. Our run defense still looked pretty great. And I don't think the game was as close as the final score was. We spotted them 14. So take 14 away, they had 20, right? So
yeah.
Defense holding someone to 20. I'll take that any day.
Some bad decisions here and there from the sidelines kind of made it a little bit closer than it was, at least from an emotional standpoint there in the closing minutes of the game. But
to delve into that, people still talk about our defense like kind of not looking good in that game, and I'm like, oh, I think they did. Like, they only gave up 20 points. That's not a crazy game to give up 20 points. It's not awesome, but it's not bad by any indication. So the fact that they only gave up 20, I think, is a good sign, not a bad sign.
And another good stat from that was we only allowed 40 yards rushing in the game.
Yeah, Jesus, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
It's the second fewest yards we've given up, thereby replacing East Carolina for the fewest yards, second place for fewest yards we've given up. So, yeah, that was a good performance on defense there. But like I said, we'll get into Troy in depth in a little bit. First, I wanted to go ahead and talk about the Coastal Carolina game coming up this Saturday, because we do have the second time this season a ranked opponent, a ranked conference mate coming in to the stadium. And we have Hayden Bannick from Fifth Quarter, Coastal Carolina Twitter account that kind of
Man, he's not a freshman. You said he was a freshman.
I didn't say he was a freshman. He said he was in school. That's all I said.
He's got a beard and everything, man. What are you talking about?
Have you seen kids nowadays? These high school kids, they have beards. You see the guys who recruit, they look like 35-year-old guys when they're committing at age 15. So, yeah, it's a whole different thing. He may be 15. All right, sorry. Hey. Welcome to the show, man. Thanks for being here.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. So, yeah, you run the Fifth Quarter Coastal Carolina account for Twitter. So, basically, what you get to do is just really troll people online for, I don't know if it's like a paid gig, but you get to do it professionally, just troll people on the internet, right?
Yeah, I try not to troll because, Twitter, you say something bad happens, your team loses, it's going to come back at you. You're going to eat it later on. So I try to engage with, with a whole lot of other fans from all these different teams, kind of get a broad perspective of all these other schools. And I try to go visit all these schools. Like I'm going to State this weekend actually to watch the Coastal game. I've been stopping at Southern. I made some people, off that page. That page really made a whole lot of cool people, just like you guys.
Yeah, well, yeah, we are the coolest, obviously. When you go down to that game in Statesboro, make sure to not wear a mask, but a full hazmat suit, because that is a stanky, nasty, disgusting place, the blemish on the entire state of Georgia.
Yeah,
And
it's
we
not because of Koro. It has nothing to do with it.
no, it was actually, if anything, COVID actually made Statesboro a cleaner place, honestly. So yeah, but talking about that, yeah, you guys got to beat up on them last week, and that was fun to watch.
That was it was very interesting. The two main factors that we're focusing on that game was I want to know is how are we going to handle success, and not only how are we going to handle adversity. Because now we finally got ranked in the top 25 last week. So I said, okay, how are these kids going to handle, they were begging to be in the top 25. They were begging for this national exposure. Now they're on College Game Day. And, they have Pat McAfee's talking about them on back-to-back shows. And we're sending Reese Davis and all these guys, Coastal swag. So I said, we finally got the hype. How are we going to live up to it? Then Grayson McCall is out from injury. So I said, okay, now we're going to have a backcourt quarterback who was one of the guys that played last year, and he, very iffy throughout the year, very questionable, passes. But Coastal not only they handled success, but they handled adversity pretty well last week.
Look, yeah. I'm really happy you guys won, but I'm more happy about your celebration. Did you guys catch the video of what they did in the locker room? They had a person dressed up as an eagle, and they like Stone Cold Steve Austin'd them. They jumped from a high thing and broke a table on them. It was awesome. It was great.
Oh yeah, the guy doing the tackling was in jean shorts and a fake bald mask, and jumped off of a ladder onto the table to pound the eagle. And that was actually a fair representation of that eagle. It looked like garbage. So
I've never seen anything more classy, and I promise I'm not being sarcastic.
Well, yeah, actually, it turns out that was actually, I believe, Hayden, back me up on this if I'm wrong, that was actually Coastal getting back at Southern for doing the same thing to them a year or two ago when Southern beat Coastal. They did a WWE style SmackDown in their locker room where they were beating up on a Chanticleer or a chicken or some fowl. Is that right, Hayden?
So I actually did not see that, but knowing that, I'm gonna definitely look into it. And if that's the case, that's pretty dope. Just like it reminds me of Baker Mayfield, planting the flag at OSU.
Right.
It definitely seems familiar, David. I'm pretty sure that's spot on. I remember seeing a Southern video of that.
Yeah, there's actually, if you check, there's a thread on the Sunbelt CSN BBS board about the Coastal's whole thing, and one of the Southern guys go back and post the actual tweet they did from a year or two ago where they did the exact same thing. So,
well, I'm sure when they did it, it was stupid. So
it was dumb when they did it. This was just Coastal getting back and being like, "See, we got your back. Stop making fun of us." Yeah, yeah. So, watching that game against Southern, it was tied there going into the half and everything, and then Coastal kind of broke away at the end. It was fun to watch Southern lose as always. And I know you probably hear this all the time, and you're probably sick of talking about this. But whenever I watch a game at Coastal, man, that teal field. Now, I don't want to get into whether it's a good or bad thing. I'm just curious from a fan perspective, a student perspective. Do you guys like it? Do you genuinely like watching the games on the teal field?
So I actually have a personal story with the teal field. In high school, this was back 5 years ago. I started going to all these college camps, and I did 3 at Coastal. This was before they had the teal field, and I was a kicker and punter. They used to let the kickers and punters go out on the field and let all the skill positions go on the practice field. Well, they put in the teal field, artificial turf and everything. And I was like, awesome, I'm going to kick on this. That's beautiful. Nah, they put the kickers on the practice field and then put the skill position guys on the game field. So I was pretty mad about that. But from a fan perspective, I don't know if you guys know about this guy. He's a CFP campus tour. He goes to a different game every weekend, and I try to do the same as well. So going to all these different stadiums and fields, it's just a unique atmosphere that the teal field provides. It's just like, Eastern Washington, Central Arkansas, Boise State, Eastern Michigan. So it's very unique. I don't get tired of it. It's just really cool to look at.
Now, is it easier? I'm assuming you're watching all the games by actually going to the stadium and watching, but if you watch games on TV, does it look better in real life than it does like on TV?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of replays on ESPN and everything, and I think the video just doesn't do it justice. It looks about 10 times better in person. Yeah,
my feed was messed up to crap last week as well, so it was pretty just garbage to look at anyways. And so you mix that with the teal field, it looks pretty crappy. But anyway, I'm not going to say whether it's bad or good. I'm sure you hear that all the time. I have my opinions that I talk about while you're not on here. So
David loves Boise's field too. So give you a hint there.
No. That's even harder. And because their uniforms are the exact same color, it's basically like you're looking at the racing stripes going along the field. You can't even see the players at all. But
it's almost cheating.
They're hiding for everybody. They got camouflage.
What about North Texas? Do they cheat because they put on the same jersey color as like the green? You know, is that cheating too? I'm just curious.
It is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
All right. Well, enough with the teal field because even that's boring me. So Hayden, how legit is this team? 5-0, 5-0 with a P5 win, an FCS win, 3-0 in conference. Is this team masquerading around? Or are they actually legit?
So, like I said, last week, they pretty much answered a lot of my questions. The last 3 years in the Sun Belt, last 2 years, we went 2-6 in the Sun Belt. Year before that, we were 1-7. Now we already have 3 wins. So we've already, exceeded all these goals. And
you should just stop now. You should just stop.
Right now.
At least for a week. Take a week off. No big deal. No one will say anything negative about you.
Hey, you told me, hey, you're going to lose to Georgia State, but you'll beat Appalachian State. I will be 100% fine with that.
He said on our podcast.
You guys,
all right.
Appalachian, our path to the conference championship requires us beating you and you beating App State. So I'm all for you guys taking that loss this week and getting that App State win whenever you play the next week or a couple weeks or something like that. Yeah.
But I'm definitely in the right trend. I think last year is when we finally got to our full scholarship. Because, when you transition to FBS, you have to take, I think it was a year off. You're not at full scholarship until I think the second or third year. I'm not 100% sure on that, though.
We're fully familiar with it. I believe it's 1 year of probation leaving FCS and then a year of probation entering FBS. So it's 2 years. And that third year is when you're finally bowl eligible and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You guys, this is just your third year of like full FBS, right?
Yeah, it's our third year.
Yeah. And so we're kind of in the same boat. We both experienced kind of painful starts to FBS with the win-loss record and everything. So yeah, we know how you feel. We know it's like.
I had to ask you. I was doing research. Actually, I'm sorry. This is our 4th year in FBS. But I was looking at the wins all time. How does Georgia State only have 38 wins all time? I was reading into that.
So if you were to design a program from scratch and you said, what is the way to be the worst possible team for 10 years, Georgia State pretty much would be your roadmap. It's a long story, but effectively we did not start out with the best goals in mind. Like there was no way that we were going to be a successful FCS team. FBS should have been the plan from the very beginning, and we didn't operate the program that way. And then we were lucky by getting an invite to the Sun Belt in year 3 or something. We weren't prepared. Our roster was garbage. That first year in FBS, 0 wins. So we've been clawing our way up, and we'll talk about this later on, but now our coach got an extension this year. It's the first time we've given a coach extension in our 11-year history now. So.
Well, and he's got and it's important to point out, we're excited about Sean Elliott. We're happy he got an extension. He has a losing record.
Exactly.
Go figure right there.
He's got a losing record, but we see where he's taken, where he started the program, or he started his tenure with the program, and where he's taking us, and we're all excited about it because there's 38 wins in our lifetime. I mean, it's terrible. So
the winningest coach in Georgia State history with 2 bowl appearances, and still we're batting below 500.
Yep.
So, but we didn't bring you here to talk about us. We brought you here to talk about Coastal. So, you mentioned a comment about the quarterback Grayson McCall being out last week. It sounds like he's probably going to be out this week as well. How much faith you got in your backup coming in to play a full 4 quarters again?
Well, so like I said, watching him last year, there was a couple games where, make some better choices and probably got a different outcome. Last week, 15 for 28, 252 yards, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I did see some bad throws. I did see some reads that, McCall would have made a lot better and would have been in a different position, where he might have got another touchdown or 2 and probably a pick less. Watching Fred Payton last year, I was kind of worried going into the Georgia Southern game. But the way he kind of found a way, and it wasn't really the rushing. What I'm more so worried about is our rushing. If I'm pretty sure, we only got 122 yards. I think last week, C.J. Maribel had 19 carries for 19 yards, and he's supposed to be, our guy when it comes to rushing. So I think Georgia State, if I'm not mistaken, they give up 485 yards a game.
Hey, take Arkansas State out of that and tell me again.
That's all in the air. It's none on the ground. If you want to beat us, you got to throw the ball. If you're going to run the ball, you're not going anywhere all day long. It's going to be a long day for you.
It also happened against Arkansas State. They're such an outlier. Like, if you go look at that game, those stats are nuts.
Ridiculous.
And, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Georgia State actually allows 97 yards on the ground on average. So we're going to really have to rely on the air again.
And you'll be very successful at that. No, but
that's what me and David were talking about at the game, actually. When Troy's quarterback went out early, we were like, well, our kryptonite is actually backup quarterbacks. They seem to come out and just air it out. And, like, instead of, passing the ball in the first play, they air it out like 30 yards. And, it seems to be our kryptonite that we can't figure out backup quarterbacks.
And that's actually an Atlanta thing. We're getting the water tested. The Falcons also can't play against backup quarterbacks. So it's not exclusive to Georgia State. One thing I noticed this season, and tell me if this has been going on for a while, you've been doing quite a bit of option style offense this year. Is that something that Coastal's been doing? I'm not really smart when it comes to like what X's and O's type thing are, but I've definitely noticed a lot of option stuff going on with Coastal. Is that part of the playbook, or is this new?
So I've been going to the games probably ever since I was in middle school. And I haven't really seen the option. The option has actually been there for the last 3 years now. We had it actually ran a decent bit last year, and it was actually really successful. Ran it some the year before, not a whole lot, but I did see it. I did see it a lot last year.
Okay. Well, I guess then we'll be prepared for that. We have, obviously play Southern as the big rival every year, and that's their bread and butter. So getting another option offense on the books before we play them is always a good chance to get the guys a little experience. But it's just something I wasn't expecting after watching a couple of games this year. Tim, you got something you want to ask Hayden?
Are you guys at all nervous about Southern? I feel like Southern fans this year don't feel confident at all. I think even though their team has 3 wins, they're down on their team. Do you feel like at half where you guys were tied up, I don't know, this is a tough one, like we might not pull this one out?
Yeah, that's exactly how I was feeling. Now, even before the game, even when I knew, when I thought Grayson was starting, I said, okay, granted that we only had, 5 Sun Belt wins, and Southern was indeed one of those Sun Belt wins in previous years. But I was like, I want to know how can this team handle all the success and exposure. They ended up doing really good, especially with the backup quarterback. But at halftime, though, it was 14-14. I was like, man, I don't know. It kind of had that feeling. We got a fumble, and then immediately after, instead of stick him in the grave, we threw a pick.
Yeah,
we're good at that too.
How about you, Ryan? You got a question?
No, I don't have questions. I'm more chit chatty, man.
Okay,
me.
You're just there for the comic relief part. I wish we could have gotten a funnier person for that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Hayden. Crap, I did have a question for you. Now I'm going to go to my BS question. So I kind of like the Chanticleer as a mascot name. Like, it's a weird mascot. It's a really weird mascot. But I've made fun of it quite a bit. But the uniqueness of it, I kind of dig. Like, is that like a sense of pride over there in Conway? You guys proud to be the weird named mascot?
Dude, it is the Chanticleer. It is, so it's an imaginary rooster, told in the Canterbury Tales. It's very unique. It sticks out. Me and my friends have a whole lot of inside jokes of stuff that's happened on campus. It's really cool. I love there's a lot of Tigers. You got LSU, Auburn, Clemson. There's only one Chanticleer.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
That's true.
Jumping up anytime soon to become like we need to become the Chanticleers as well. Yeah,
we touched on it a little last week. Isn't it just like a play on words with the Gamecocks?
It is actually. It did come. So when we broke off from South Carolina, we wanted to, kind of keep a similar mascot. They have the Gamecocks. So I don't know how they came up with the Chanticleer. Have absolutely no idea. Fun fact, though, in Tennessee, in Eastern Tennessee, there's actually a hotel called the Chanticleer Inn.
Interesting.
Well, that works out well. So,
All right.
Building that brand, right? I know the question I wanted to ask you before. So, the way that Sunbelt's broken up is actually pretty convenient geographically because you've got all these teams, 2 teams from each state, basically. Now, Coastal and Appalachian State are considered those 2 travel partners, but not really the same state, unless you consider Carolinas to be one state like the Carolina Panthers do. Do you guys have a rivalry? I mean, is that like a natural rivalry with Appalachian State, or is that just something kind of forced by the conference?
So I feel like it's pretty natural. Me being from North Carolina, I have a genuine passion and hate for Appalachian State. Personally being from Ohio and Michigan, I hate them more than I do Ohio State. And that, that says something, being from the area that I'm from. The conference, it does kind of, geographically, it is kind of a rival because, even though I'm pretty sure Georgia Southern it might be a little bit closer, but obviously, that's state, and even Southern and App State, But for us, a lot of the kids at campus, a lot of the athletes here, they just have they also have a hate for Appalachian State. It's always the most hype game for the year, whether it's women's soccer, volleyball. Our volleyball game last year against App State was darn near sold out. All the frats, sororities, all the athletes, they all went to that game, caused ruckus. We just most people have a hate for App State here. I probably have the most, just do not like those guys whatsoever. Growing up, like I said, being from North Carolina, I knew people that, dated players for that team, and, they always talked all this smack. And then once they played a relevant team, the team at FBS, they usually got beat, except for, last year when they played South Carolina. Ryan Helinski decided to go to a student section, and I don't know what the heck North Carolina did.
Oh yeah, North Carolina, Michigan, like we have a list now. They sort of tend towards it.
Yeah,
App State had an absurd year last year, beating UNC and USC both in the same season.
But the Sun Belt last year did too. Didn't Coastal beat somebody, right? Like Kansas or something?
Yep.
Kansas.
We beat Tennessee. I mean, the Sun Belt had a crazy year last year against P5 teams.
And then Coastal went and did it again this year in week 1. Beat up. It wasn't a huge win. It was just
whatever. A win's a win. That's all anybody cares about.
I'm wrong. No, it's a 15-point win against Kansas. So yeah, that's a great way to start the season.
We opened
precedence
3, so we were up by 25 early.
You let them come back in. You felt bad for them. Yeah, 2 years in a row. These Kansas guys.
Kansas want to get pumped.
I don't pay attention to a lot of things outside of my own sphere of influence. So is it Kansas or Kansas State's that's the good one? Which one is the good one?
Kansas State.
Kansas State.
So okay, so you're picking on like Vanderbilt or something. You're not really
right.
No, I'm kidding.
I'll take a win against Vanderbilt any day.
No, that's a huge win. That's a huge win. Both back-to-back wins, I'm sure. And that was a 2-1. So you've played them twice out in Kansas. Now they've licking their wounds and 2 losses. They've got to fly out to Conway and play you guys next year, right?
Yes, they do. So with the Kansas game, I was kind of, I didn't think we would. I thought we might get one out of that series. Being Les Miles, I said we might get the first one. But I said once Les Miles gets his boys coming in, maybe not. And then this year, Les has some of his guys in there and just blew him out from the get-go. We let him come back at the end, but the first 3 quarters was not close.
That's definitely going to be an all eyes on Coastal next year in that game. At Kansas coming in there, that's going to be a big. How big of a stadium do you guys play in? How many seats you guys got going in there?
We have 21,000.
21,000. And didn't you guys have like that billionaire head coach for a while? Was that you guys?
Yeah, that's us. Yep, Joe Magolio. Yeah, he's got he's actually I don't know if he still is, but he was the CEO of TG Ameritrade.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yep.
They do commercials.
Yeah, commercials.
Is he still the head coach? Is that still the head coach?
No, he is not. It's Jamie Chadwell, but I can't remember his. He's still
gave him some kind of title.
Yeah, I can't remember the title, but he is still involved with the football program.
Yeah, he gave him he donated so much money he can be called whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you got a billionaire associated with your program. You keep that person as close to the program as long as you possibly can.
Well, then we had another donor, a random donor. I can't remember his name, but he finally came out. He gave us a $95. He's a 30-year-old, and the donation won't roll in until I think it's $1 million a year. and after he passes away, we'll get the rest of it. Like I said, he's 30, so.
Dude, why do you make that stuff public knowledge? You know, there's gonna be some booster fan out there that has a sniper rifle. I mean, we were talking about South Carolina here. You know, gonna go out there and just like pop this guy and be like, "Oh, we got it now."
Yeah,
Florida, man, come on.
Let's extend the stadium now. It's 42,000 seats now, buddy. Thank you.
everyone was saying that someone's gonna find him with a teal bullet in him.
Pay up.
Jesus, that's some last call talk, guys.
Pretty much.
It's not language, but Jesus.
Yep.
Let's see. Tim, you got anything else while I look through my notes?
I was going to see, how do you guys feel about App State this year? I think they're down a little bit. We both have struggled against them. Neither of us have beat them. I think this is the year either of our teams could actually compete and take a win away.
Yeah, I do too. When I first, I usually I'm not at the game, I'll have 3 TVs going and I'll try to watch, as much games as I can. And when I started picking out of the App State, the first couple games against, I can't remember who they played first, but they played Campbell and Marshall. And I was like, this is not the same App State team from years past. And I wish that we played them early. I wish we had them over. I wish we had them at that point. I don't want them to, for Mike Evans and Thomas to, start getting better, slowly progressing, and then because we don't play them until November 21st. And I was like, man, I wish we had him early on. But then again, their best receiver, he is out for the year. He opted out. I don't care. I don't care if the quarterback and Mike Evans is out. I don't care if the kicker's out. As long as we beat them, I don't care. But see, App State and Coastal, I feel like it's one of those to where it's like Michigan and Ohio State. You see that name and you get that oh crap mentality, and you see that name on the jersey and you just can't beat them. I think we're 0-5 against them now.
Yeah,
well, that's why you're a man after my own heart. Even during the game, I'm like, I hope the quarterback gets cramps and doesn't come back until the end of the game, because I don't want him to get like real hurt. But if he just doesn't get to play, that's fine. That won't go down in the record book as long as we get that W. I just don't care.
Exactly.
I don't root for injuries, but we'll play the team you put on the field, and if that field does not have your starting everything, so be it. But like Ryan,
cramps. I want cramps, not like a real injury. Just don't come back today.
Yeah, but like Ryan said, we have a huge problem against backup quarterbacks. We're not really good against those guys.
That's true.
We'll try to take care of App State, and you can finish them up. It looks like you have them the week after. So
there we go.
We'll bruise them up for you, and you can finish them off.
Yeah, now they do travel pretty well when they came, because now we're at limited capacity where we only allow 5,000, and that includes the teams, staff. So roughly you're looking at maybe 4,000, maybe a couple hundred here and there. But even Southern had a decent little fan base come out for that game.
They have nothing better to do with their lives.
And I'm sure they weren't decent.
Exactly.
I actually sat next to a Southern fan. She's actually giving me a ticket to the South Alabama game. So they got some good, just like App State. There's a few that I'm like, all right, you're one of the good ones, but the rest of y'all are horrible.
Yeah. Well, you said she. I hope you got tested afterwards.
Whoa.
You guys have been putting up a crap ton of points this year.
Right.
And we put up 52 points against Arkansas State in a win. We put up 52 points against Arkansas State in a loss. So I feel like this game could be really, really interesting, depending on, it's going to be not necessarily which team scores more, but it's going to come down to which team prevents the other team from scoring as much. This is going to be defense will win this game for us, and hope to God special teams is not coming to a play, because if it does, you guys can just march right back to Conway with a win.
Yeah. So defense, our defense line, we have C.J. Brewer, Jeffrey Gunner, and Jackson. I can't pronounce his first. I'm not going to try it, but respectively, they have 3.5 sacks, 3.5 sacks, 2.5, and then combined, you're looking at, I think it's 15 tackles for losses between the three. And then you have one of our guys, our cornerback, Jordan Strong, 3 picks. Actually, he's tied for first in the FBS. He leads that category. So I think defense it's not going to be a high-scoring game. It's not going to be a 52-56 like your Arkansas State, especially with the backup quarterback. I expect maybe a 31-27 type game. I don't expect either team to blow either one out. I definitely don't shoot out.
Well, either way, I expect my heart to be racing and my emotions to be going up and down the entire time during this game. It's going to be another one that, for whatever reason, the teams I cheer for just make a roller coaster out of it. But you said you're coming down to Atlanta for the game?
Yes, I am.
All right, I'd like to invite you over to Ryan's house. We do a little pregame over there. We can walk to the stadium from his house.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and back him up on that. I'll actually invite you. I live like 2 blocks from the stadium, and we've been tailgating at my house. So
Yeah, no, but so are you getting down? Coming down that morning, or are you gonna come down the night before? What's your plan?
So, like I said before, I try to go to all these different colleges. I'm actually going to Marshall on November 14th for their 50th anniversary of the plane crash. But so Thursday night, I already told my professors, like, hey, I'm going to Zoom class that day. I'm going down to watch some football. So Thursday night, I'm going to South Alabama at Georgia Southern. I've never been to a game at state either. So I'm going to drive over Friday, check out UGA and GT, check out the Hall of Fame, maybe a high school game if they're allowing fans or selling tickets for them. But no, I'll be there early Friday.
Oh, cool. All right, excellent. Well, yeah, seriously, I'll give you the info, whatever. Maybe we can meet up at the game or something like that. But yeah, you guys got anything else for Hayden before we let him go?
Earlier you were mentioning a Russian attack. Is that like a guy in a tracksuit and a gold chain, or is it like weapons of mass destruction? Like, what are we talking about with a Russian attack?
When you say that attack, especially if you're talking about defense, not the actual the Russians, but
No, I'm just messing with you, man. You got that southern accent going.
I do, being from the Midwest, but I've lived here for 16 years, so I've started to pick up a little bit.
Yeah, you've blended in with the natives, huh?
Excellent. Do you follow basketball for Coastal as well?
I do. I go to the games.
All right, cool. Maybe we'll have you on here for whatever basketball season has for us as well to talk about those games whenever they may be.
Yeah, I think I read it's going to start, January 1st or December 31st, and you're going to play each other 4 times?
Yeah, that's actually something I was going to bring up, but yeah, I'm glad you brought it up here. The math does not work out. So was it Pat Ford on Twitter says that, Tim, Ryan, I'm not sure if you saw this at all. They said the basketball schedule, we're going to be playing divisional only. You play each team in your division 4 times, twice back to back. Like you'll do so with Coastal, it'd be like a Friday, Saturday at Coastal, and then later in the season, a Friday, Saturday against Coastal in Atlanta, except for your in-state or your travel partner rival. So Southern, we'd still only play twice total. So you play every other team in your division 4 times, and you play your in-state rival or whatever travel partner 2 times. That math does not include Arlington or Little Rock playing basketball. And there are not divisions in Sun Belt basketball. So even
just minor details.
So they say, Pat Ford says an 18-game season. Even if you move South Alabama over to the east and use football divisions, that's 22 games. So I don't know where he was getting this information from or what it is, but that's what the rumor is right now.
Well, people aren't into sports because they're good at math, so.
I feel like math's a pretty important component to sports.
Yeah, maybe.
A lot of counting, at least.
I mean, also, I'm into sports, so.
Yeah, you're not into basketball, though, so
What's
we don't.
That say? Oh, yeah. Not the round ball, no.
Not the round ball, yeah.
Not any kind of round ball, really.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Hayden, for joining us here, and hopefully we get to see you on Saturday and talk to you again sometime.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me. Yeah, definitely shoot me the address or something, and I'll be glad to get there whatever time and, shoot some bull and maybe drink some beer.
That sounds good, man. Thanks, Hayden.
Hey, thank you, guys.
See you, dude.
See ya.
All right, cool. Well, that went a lot better than I expected, so that was awesome.
Yeah.
Not a freshman.
I didn't say he was a freshman.
I know, but I had to give you crap for it on the
Sounds
air.
good.
Because it was funny.
I said, I hope he's not a freshman.
I know, but it made me laugh. I was like, immediately he had a beard, and I was like, not a freshman. Let's like give David shit for this.
I don't know where you get this beard thing. Just because you still can't grow a beard yet does not mean that having a beard makes you older than 18.
Nope, it does.
I like his passion for going to all these football games, minus the fact he's going to Southern twice. I don't know why anyone would do that, but
well, ask him again after he goes to Southern once if he's actually going to stick around and go to them a second time, because you'll probably be like, no, been there once, been there, done that. I've never been and have no intentions of going.
I've been best game ever.
34-7, right?
Yeah, it was, but we heard your stories about that game. And
best game ever.
and
Could have got killed. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Best game ever. I almost died.
The important thing is you didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
So
They were nice. They just need to get more drunk and realize they're actually going to lose. Then they were friendly.
yeah, every Southern fan will never believe they're going to lose anything. They are the most arrogant people I've ever come across. But beyond them, back to the Coastal game coming this week. This is a Halloween game. This was supposed to be a fun game for tailgating and everything before the world went to crap. Do you think that we'll have? What's the turnout going to be like at this game?
I mean, not great. I mean, it was never going to be great, COVID or not. I mean, I know that kind of sucks. But what are we, like 2-2 right now? Is that right?
This game was originally scheduled to be on Thursday before the world went to crap. So
even if it was on Saturday, still, we probably wouldn't be doing so hot on attendance.
Are you gonna wear a costume, Ryan?
No.
Come on.
I'm gonna wear my Georgia State outfit.
I'm sure you're gonna go as a disappointing fan.
No. I'm gonna go as a fan that I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
Going as a winner.
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't get there, but I just couldn't bring myself to say that in a cynical way.
All right, so yeah, Ryan, you kind of touched on this when we first started, and as I was talking to Hayden there, defense is going to be the difference maker in this game. And after the Arkansas State loss, there was a lot of talk about our defense, reverting back to the crap we were last year. After this Troy game, has that defense with Fuquay back there calling plays? Are we back? Are we back to that defense we thought we had at the beginning of the season, Ryan?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that the big difference in Arkansas State is like Fuquay wasn't there, right? I mean, you have your defensive coordinator absent, and all of a sudden your defense goes to shambles. Then, I mean, it's a pretty easy excuse. I mean, it's probably not even an excuse. It probably is the exact reason it happened. And then the very next game, you bounce back. You only let them score 20 points when they were pretty potent. I mean, they were airing it out. They were not. They were making big plays. And we still seem to stop them when it mattered. And so I think I don't think there's a problem with our defense. I think our defense is going to step up as long as Fuquay's there. We're good to go.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, Fuquay is spending this entire week focusing on the secondary and preventing those big pass plays from giving up. But if we do that, is that at the sacrifice of the run defense? I don't know how football works. Tim, how do you feel about this game going into it?
I feel pretty confident, just like Troy. Fuquay is back in the saddle. He's calling the plays. I think he probably has some good game film to now study from multiple games where he's given up pretty big passes, even the game he wasn't there. Hopefully we can coach up the team a little bit, stop the big plays. I mean, small, medium plays, okay. Right, but we can't be giving up 40-plus yards, 35 yards on pass plays. It's just not a good recipe for winning, especially, Coastal's obviously a huge step up in offense, right?
Right. Yeah, well, my fear is I feel pretty confident about this game, but every time I feel confident about a Georgia State game is when it goes to absolute crap and we get completely blown out.
Okay, don't feel confident.
Yeah, so my take on this game is there's no way I can give a score prediction on this game because I feel like it's either going to be like a close, good matchup. Both teams going head just like it was against Troy, more like Arkansas State, really that back and forth kind of thing, or we're going to get completely blown out like our history dictates with most of our games we've had in the past. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm nervous about it. I'm scared.
Well, and I think with Troy, I think it was the first.
Confident. There we go. Scared but confident is a possible episode title.
Troy was the first game that I sort of was disappointed in our gameplay. I thought our offense was really shaky. I thought everyone just needed to settle down, loosen up a little bit. Everyone was playing real rigid and tight, and it wasn't working for us. And it's the first game that I've seen our offense come out there and really just not play well. So I'm really hoping that we can see them bounce back.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Yes.
I can't
Yes,
disagree.
I agree.
I was looking at the. I was just looking at the line. So it looks like
Cool,
Coastal's
cool,
now favored.
What's that?
Looks like Coastal's now favored 2.5.
Yeah. So originally, Ben
Money's
posted.
shifting.
Well, Ben posted something saying that Georgia State was actually favored in this game by 1 point when the first lines were coming out. I don't know which Vegas site he was going to, but I need to find out because that's where I want to go place all my bets.
Russian Vegas site, maybe.
Yeah, because ESPN.
I heard you. I heard it.
ESPN sites and everywhere else I looked at the same time were all having a 2.5 point favorite to Coastal in the game. But yeah, I think it's kind of stated that. It's stated about 2.5, 3 points for Coastal at this point.
I think that's fair.
I'll take it though, man. That's a pick 'em, right? I mean, that's fine. I'll take that.
I think it'd be a pick 'em if we were being if that was at their house, but coming here, you get that 3 points on the field goal for being the home team. So effectively, what they're saying is Coastal by a touchdown on a neutral site.
Yeah, but they're not on a neutral site, so what they're effectively saying is the 2.5 points. Pick 'em.
Not with Noel Ruiz on the field.
He's gold, right?
No goal.
Or is he? I don't know. He made a field goal, right? Oh.
Yeah, I think a lot of the predictions, looking at Panther Talk and just online, Georgia State fans, we are
A fickle bunch.
nothing if not consistent. It's like all blowout wins. It's like, 52-14, 48-10. Like everyone's predicting big blowouts. I just don't see that being that way. If it's a blowout win, it's going to go not in our favor.
Well, like where the hell have you guys been like the entire career? Like, I mean, what's his face that was just here was just saying 38 wins in our history, and it's like, what are you predicting here? This is a ranked team.
Well, it's funny. We're talking about the same people that go on the message board and say, fire Fuquay because we have no defense. And then they say 48-14 win. Like, how did you hold the ranked number 20 team to
14
points?
Drugs,
let alone
drugs.
Special teams. Jesus. Special teams is going to give up a couple.
Turnovers were a huge thing in the Troy game, like for both teams.
Yeah.
More so for them. But yeah. Tim, this is your area of expertise, so I wanted to toss this one to you. We may have our uniform decision for the game this week.
Smurfs?
See, that's the problem. All blue. Like the picture they posted was all blue. Blue helmet, blue jersey, blue pants.
Blue balls.
Okay, I love it. Not a big fan of that. But no, I love the all blue look, but people call that the Smurf look. And I guess maybe if you're at a nudist resort, that's the Smurf look. But the Smurf, if you're going to call the look the Smurf look, that should be the white helmet.
The white thing.
True, a white helmet. You're right.
And white pants, right? That's the Smurf look.
Yeah.
So yeah. I was wondering, would it be? Do you think the NCAA would allow it if we went the Smurf look, the white, blue, white? That allow just the quarterback to be in red, blue, red, so we could have a Papa Smurf on the field with the rest of the Smurfs.
David, we have to do this. We have to let's create a change.org petition and get this thing going because you're brilliant, my friend.
We've never had a red helmet.
This is like why we're friends, is these ideas, and I feel like it's not come out in this podcast until just now.
Right, there we go. It's only been 10 years in the making.
I personally don't see it as the Smurfs. I just see it as pure blue Panthers. Done.
Yeah, the Blue Rangers.
I do like all blue. We've talked about it before, but I'm not sure which one's my favorite. It's either all blue or it's all white. But doing one of the all primary colors is my favorite. You can do those uniforms. I'll never complain about that any day. So
white minus the new helmet.
Yeah,
just the helmet. Just half the helmet.
Half the helmet.
Just half the helmet. Just one sticker, really.
David will be happy if we cut the helmet in half and have one side exposed.
Players might not be okay with that, but we'll be better off.
Like some Mad Max style helmet where you have I'm going to protect my entire brain on the left side, the right exposed to shotguns. It's great. Yeah. So, I've got a conspiracy theory I wanted to talk to you guys about. All right. So if we want to play in the Sun Belt Conference Championship this season, we have got to beat Coastal. we've got to beat App, and we've got to beat Southern. All right. We need Southern to beat App, and we need App to beat Coastal.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The last game of the season before the championship has been moved. It's now Southern versus App. If everything comes into play and all we need is Southern to beat App, if those Southern players go out in the field and they know that if they beat App, we go to the conference championship. But if they lose, App goes to the conference championship. Do you think Southern tanks that game just to keep us out of the conference championship?
Absolutely not.
100%
no.
They hate App more than they hate us, so they will win.
And they like winning. They really like winning a lot.
They really do.
They hate us. They respect App. And no matter what, if they do play their hearts out and they lose that game in the last second, those Southern fans will be like, yeah, we did it just so Georgia State couldn't be in the championship.
Yeah. No, they'll say that.
That's pre-built.
I'll give you that, but they're not going to lose a game on purpose. Especially not to App State. They're not going to just they're not going to tank the game. I think that's silly.
All right. Well, we got to do our part first, but we'll see.
Yeah, there was a lot of pieces to that whole thing.
Maybe we'll be visiting this whole conspiracy theory in December.
And you guys were all mad at me for rooting for Ooh La La against Coastal, and now you're giving me this pathway to this crazy path to the championship.
That was the whole point of my whole thing, because when I realized that we needed Southern to beat App, I was kind of like, well, I don't want that to happen. Oh, they're just gonna throw the game. They're gonna throw the game because they don't want us to win. They don't want us to win the championship. But yeah. Is there anything else we want to talk about the Troy game before we move on?
Probably, but I can't think of it now, and I'll probably just bring it up.
The watch
big
part.
stat. No, big stat tonight. 2 wins in a row against Troy.
2 wins in a row. Yes.
Streak.
And if we beat Coastal this week, that'll be 2 wins in a row. That'll be a streak as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I think we're 2-1 against Coastal. I think it's the only team in conference, or only team we have a winning record against.
Yeah. Beat those teal chickens.
But no, the watch party at the stadium was awesome. I mean, if the weather had been more cooperative, it would have been a lot better. But it was great. There were a number of people there. It wasn't a huge crowd by any means, but I think the weather played a part of that. But it was cool. I think that if they do that again, it could really become a fun way to watch the game, because Ryan and I took our kids down there and we went right out there, set our free beach towels they gave us right out in midfield, planning to watch the game. The kids were running around. It's actually a lot of families that brought kids out. And if that field had been there for the kids to run around during the game, parents could have had a great time watching the game without wearing your kids out, letting them pass out.
Right.
Home. Yeah.
World's biggest playpen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that there were some weird logistic decisions by Georgia State in there.
Like what?
So, Tim, where they had you come in there is that entrance, I guess it's to the University Club now. It used to be the 755 Club, that entrance in the doorway before you get the turnstile, or right at the turnstiles. They had you come in there. You could not go left to go towards the team store and the new seats they built. You had to go right. And as soon as you go right, there's a concession stand that's open, very limited, fine. Beer, sodas, water, pizza, chips, or whatever.
Yeah.
Then they have you go all the way over. They have you go up to section 2 and walk all the way around to those midfield seats. And that's where they had, I mean, you could literally sit anywhere, but that's where they walked you to effectively. That concession stand was the only one that was open.
It was way far away.
So if you wanted to get up and get another beer or whatever, you had a long.
I'll be back in 10 minutes. See ya.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm sure
buckets. We need to sell buckets.
That would be a great idea.
I told David I almost brought my stadium bag, my clear stadium bag full of ice. I considered it, and just been like, buy a couple beers and then go sit out on the field. Because imagine if we were on the field, how far that walk would be.
Oh yeah, because we were walking down with our daughters and we're kind of like, if you got to go potty, you need to let me know before you know it, because it's a long walk back and a lot of stairs to get up there. So I'm sure there was a reason for it. Probably the routes with the number of security guards they needed to have, or something like that. maybe if it became a bigger thing with more people, it'd be a little bit more open.
Spacing, yeah.
It was cool. It was very cool. I hope they continue doing it. Obviously, it'll be getting colder in the next couple of months. I'm not sure how many fans will want to come out for that, but I thought it was
awesome. Like even though it was rainy, the temperature was like perfect. It was beautiful out there under the stands was wonderful. So
yeah, we did get kicked off the field because of lightning in the area
immediately. Like really before the game even started.
I didn't realize it. They're like, we'll have to kick you off if there's lightning in the air. Like, cool. And then sure enough, they come over and they do it. And I'm like walking up the stairs, and I look up. I'm like, I missed kickoff. It's like our first play of the game. I'm like, crap, I missed the kickoff of the game. But
that rain Saturday was serious.
But I missed kickoff of the game, the 2 home games, just because I've been like walking over from Ryan's house as well. So
you got a pregame, man.
I've not seen a kickoff from that stadium at all. But
yeah, it's pretty hard to see kickoffs. So
yeah. All right. Well, we're 50 minutes in. Let's take a look at how the rest of the conference fared over last week. App State put an absolute hurt on Arky State, 45-17. So maybe App State is a lot more formidable than we thought they were earlier in the season.
Maybe Ark State is not as formidable as they appeared to us.
Yeah, or our defense just is not as good as App State's defense. Lafayette won a nail biter with UAB by 4 points. Screw those guys.
A little surprising. I thought UAB would take that one.
Yeah, people called that like a big win.
I really thought UAB was going to win that game, and that wasn't hating on Lafayette. I just really thought UAB was going to win that game. Coastal Carolina doubled up the score on Southern. South Alabama beat up on Monroe. Poor Monroe, man. Those guys, other than us, they probably won't win a game this season.
No, we have to win that game.
We've got
Monroe Watch 2020.
When
will they win?
There is no game we can lose the rest of the season. And then BYU put the smack down on Texas State. But Texas State, poor season for them. But oh well.
I think it's your curse, man. You were like all about Texas State, and now they can't win.
I backed off. I stopped cheering for them. I was like, all right, they're just crap now. They still keep on getting beat. So there were some power rankings that came out. 24/7 did theirs. I think it's pretty fair. Georgia State's in 5th place behind Coastal, Appalachian, Lafayette, Arkansas State, and us. It makes sense. You've got Coastal and App at top, the 2 teams that beat us next, then us. Southern right behind us. I would say maybe you put South Alabama ahead of Southern because South Alabama has 2 wins and Southern only has the 1. But I'm fine with it. But I mean, we pretty much never move. Georgia just kind of stays 5th place in power rankings. That's where we are. It's our lot in life.
We're locked in, I guess, to 5th.
Yeah.
So we win.
Got to be the chance, man. Then people will see.
I know it's early, but the interesting thing, if you look at the Sun Belt standings, East and West, Lafayette, with all their fame and glory they've had this season with being ranked and everything, they're actually 2nd place in the West right now. They currently are not representing the West in the conference championship.
Who are they behind?
South Alabama, right?
South Alabama is 2-0 in conference play, and Lafayette's 2-1. So they've won.
Wait, who has South Alabama played?
Probably Monroe and Texas State. Actually, I think
Monroe twice.
I think it's Monroe and Texas State.
All right, fair enough. Okay.
But I mean, numbers are numbers. So
yeah, that's true. That's a true statement.
I find it very amusing that with all the hype that Lafayette's got, they're actually not currently representing. Like if COVID comes down and says, "All right, we're doing the conference championship last game of the season," it's Coastal and USA. It's not Lafayette in that game, which would be hilarious. Like I don't want that to happen.
It would be terrible,
but that'd be hilarious. The game's coming up this next week. South Alabama's at Southern, so that's a chance for South Alabama to maintain their superiority over Lafayette. Southern is favored by 5.5. I don't know.
South Alabama beat Texas State and the ULM.
Go Jags. Go Jags.
Southern fans are down on their team, man. I don't know. We'll see. South Alabama can take it.
Yeah, we'll see. Those 2 teams are not really relatively close. I think we're actually closer to Mobile than Statesboro is. Then Troy at Arkansas State. And Arkansas State's only favored by 2.5 in that game. So
go Arkansas State.
Right. I agree.
Okay.
That will be an interesting game to watch the outcome of, only because our past two opponents, and since we played them so differently, it'll be interesting to see how those two teams play each other. I'll be keeping an eye on that one. Sunday. I'll keep an eye on it Sunday after it's over. I'm pretty sure after watching our game, I'm not going to pay attention to anything else the rest of the day.
It's going to be pretty rough. But, it's Halloween. You're going to have to deal with, kids.
Well, we are doing a stay-at-home Halloween.
Good.
So,
all right. What
does
that mean?
Dress up. Give them candy?
Well, dress up, play Halloween games, watch Halloween movies, and hand out candy to anybody that may show up to the house.
Huh.
So, App State at Monroe. Is anybody paid attention to this? What would you say, App State, Monroe being down as they are? What do you think the spread is? I'll say the over under at 25. You think that they're being predicted to score more or less than 25 points over?
Over
25. I think you're probably looking App State minus 13.5.
No, App State minus 31. App State is expected to score 31 more points than Monroe is. I
thought 41.
I would normally, whenever I don't gamble a lot, but normally when there's a huge spread, like 30 plus points, I'm always take the other team to cover, because it's most of those teams, once they get a big lead, they just kind of back off and put in ups, and they don't score anymore. And maybe it's a little close, but with Monroe, the way they've been playing this season, I'm not betting on this game.
Good choice. I wouldn't bet on it either.
And then I have no idea what's going on in the Lafayette Texas State game, because I put minus 16 for both of them. I'm sure that was actually Lafayette was minus 16. I'd probably take that. I'd probably take Lafayette on that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're 57. Yeah. So let's move on to the other sports. Last week, volleyball lost to Appalachian on Friday, but beat them twice on Saturday. So I'll take 2-1. Women's soccer beat Troy, but then lost to USA on Sunday. South Alabama's first place in Sun Belt standings. We're second. So having bet, if we would have beat USA, that would have been a huge win for their women's soccer team. But unfortunately, they came out 0-3 as a loss. So unfortunate. The real surprising news is men's soccer lost to Central Arkansas 0-2. Yeah. That's like some Atlanta United stuff right there, Tim.
Ooh, yeah, Atlanta United. Tied up and give a goal away in the last minute, 30 seconds. I don't even know. Whatever stupid amount of time it was to give up a goal. We're good at that. We're taking after the Falcons, trying to figure out how to lose as close to the end of the game as possible.
Is Mercedes-Benz cursed?
It might be now. I don't know. Something happened in 2020. Martinez went down. COVID took over.
They opened the top, and all the positive energy just got escaped right through the top of it.
Or the ghosts came in, right?
Right. Maybe the poison came in the stadium.
Wow.
This week, women's soccer is playing UAB. Volleyball has to go down to Statesboro for Friday and Saturday. Then the
testing.
Men's soccer is actually up at Coastal. I feel like whenever they have these sports that are why are we playing Coastal at home the same time football when soccer is playing Coastal at Coastal? I mean, you're probably not going to a lot of people that are going to go to both, but come on.
They could do a Friday night men's soccer versus Coastal. I'd go.
Sync these things up. Yeah.
Well, it seems like you could at least save money on travel, right? Because you just throw all the players on one, on however many buses, and then you throw all the equipment in one truck.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it would be kind of like we talked about that Ole Miss setup that's got scheduled, where we have the Ole Miss football game and the Ole Miss basketball game the same weekend. Why not do that with your other Olympic sports? Go up there on a Friday, watch a soccer game, and then wake up Saturday morning, go to a football game, head home on Sunday. That'd be more. It's just weird that we're playing the exact same team, one away, one home. All right.
It's the same reason the basketball schedule doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's also not reported by the Sun Belt, so we don't know yet. Then women's cross country Sun Belt Championship begins this weekend as well. So that's all I got. How about you guys?
I'm good.
Well, last call.
Good.
Last call.
Talk about 4 to 8 more teams joining the FBS.
Oh yeah, right on. Cool.
Bring them on. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening and for watching. And we are going to head to last call. Check it out on our Patreon page. Available to you guys free on Friday, unless you're a member, free immediately. So thanks everybody for listening and watching. We appreciate it.
See ya.